Everyone has a dream. Mine was simple. 4 walls, a door that locked, a place that was mine. I'd wanted out since high school. My father had a relationship with the bottle that left no room for anyone else. My mother wasn't far behind. The house we lived in never felt like a home. It felt like a trap with furniture. So I waited, and the moment I could leave, I left. 19 years old, college student, no money, plenty of desperation. I wasn't going away to school. That was never going to happen. So I spent every spare moment scrolling. Zillow, Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, anywhere that might be hiding something I could actually afford. And then I found it. Small, quiet, cheap enough to be a little suspicious. I went to see it anyway. The layout was straightforward. Almost too straightforward. You walked in and the living space opened up before you. A combined living room and dining area sharing the same air. The kitchen sat just beyond a dividing wall. Down the hallway, 2 closets waited. One became a pantry. One became a place to store the things I hadn't figured out yet. The bathroom sat between them. And at the very end of the hall, the bedroom, bigger than it had any right to be. Queen bed, 2 more closets, dressers, a television. I said yes before I even drove home. Moved in the following month. And for a while, life was quiet. A few months passed before the quiet ended. I'd gone out with friends. We ran into some girls we knew. One of them, I'll call her Sammy, ended up coming back to my place. We'd known each other from school for a while. There was nothing unusual about it. We watched a movie, had a few drinks. That was all. She wasn't ready for anything more, and I understood that. We moved to the bedroom to finish the film, and somewhere between the closing credits and midnight, we both fell asleep. I don't know exactly what time it was when I heard it. Footsteps in the hallway. I opened my eyes slowly. The room was dark. Still. The kind of still that feels like it's waiting for something. I turned to my side. The bed was empty. I exhaled. Sammy. Of course. She was slipping out, avoiding the awkward morning, the uncomfortable goodbye. I understood that too. So I said nothing. I listened. I heard the front door open and close. Just to be sure, I called out softly into the dark. Sammy? Silence. She was gone. I closed my eyes and let sleep take me back. About an hour later, something pulled me out of it. Not gently. I sat upright, heart already hammering before I was fully conscious. That particular kind of fear that doesn't wait for your mind to catch up. Sammy Nothing answered me. The bedroom door was still open. I'd been too tired to close it after she left. The hallway beyond it sat in perfect darkness. I didn't want to move. Something in my chest told me not to. So I reached for my phone instead, typed out a message to Sammy with shaking fingers. Are you still in my house? I know how that sounds. Even I knew how it sounded in the moment. But fear has a way of bypassing logic entirely. I stared at the open doorway, and that's when I saw it. Something at the edge of the frame, something wrapped around it. My breathing stopped. My hands moved before my mind could argue. I swiped down, opened the control panel, turned on the flashlight, and pointed it directly at the door frame. There they were, 2 hands, fingers curled around the wood, and the moment the light found them, the fingers tightened and slowly, deliberately, pulled back into the darkness. 3 seconds passed. I don't know how I found my voice, but when I did, "Get out! Get out! Get out!" I don't remember crossing the room. I only remember standing in the hallway with every light I could reach blazing behind me. The hallway was empty. I checked the closets, the bathroom, threw open every door that could be hiding something. Nothing. I moved to the living room, lit it up, checked behind the couch, under the tables, every shadow. Nothing. The kitchen, the corners, every possible place a person could fold themselves into. Nothing. And then I reached the front door, and I realized something that made the room feel suddenly colder. I never heard the front door close. Not the second time, not once. I called Sammy until she answered. Her voice was half asleep, mildly confused. I asked her, calmly, carefully, if she had come back inside. She said she'd left a while ago. Couldn't sleep. Just wanted to get home. I told her it was nothing, that I thought I heard something. We hung up. I called my best friend next, repeatedly, until he answered. He was exhausted and a little irritated. I told him everything anyway. The night someone was inside my house. Part 1. The morning after I managed to calm myself enough to sleep that night. Barely. The next morning, I searched every corner of that apartment. This time, it was clear, so I told myself to move on, to forget it. But the mind doesn't forget so easily, because at some point during that day, my thoughts drifted back to what I had convinced myself was a hallucination. Those hands, wrapped around my door frame. I walked slowly into my room and studied the wood up close, and that's when my heart simply stopped. Fingerprints, clear as day, positioned exactly where I had seen those hands. I had to grab the wall to steady myself. It wasn't a hallucination. It never was. I still have the photo, saved in my iCloud, even now, years later. I called my dad. He told me I was a fool for not locking the door. He wasn't wrong. Nothing was stolen. No one remained. He told me to take it as a lesson. And that's what haunts me most. Because he was right. I still don't know who came into my apartment that night. I don't know why they chose to do the one quiet, calculated thing that would disturb me deepest. When my lease ended, I moved, and I never looked back. Part 2. Growing up alone. My parents' house never quite felt like a normal home. My father traveled constantly. My mother was always somewhere else, a friend's house, my aunt's, coming home long after dark. It wasn't abandonment. It was simply absence. From the age of 16, I lived in that house essentially alone, ate alone, watched television alone, spent entire weekends inside 4 walls that had no voice but my own. I'm an only child. Sometimes I wonder if my parents discovered how much they loved their freedom after having me. When I was younger, I told myself I loved it too. A big house, no one watching, no one hovering. But by the time I turned 19 and started college nearby, the silence had grown heavier, and here is the part that matters. I knew every sound that house made. It was old, spacious, full of character. It creaked when the temperature dropped. It settled in the dead of night. But none of those sounds ever frightened me until that night. Story 3. The Warehouse. A few winters ago, I took a job nobody wanted. Overnight security, a warehouse complex on the edge of nowhere, 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. alone. The kind of darkness that has weight to it. The kind of silence that breathes. Every sound magnified. Every shadow deeper than it should be. It was around 1:30 in the morning when the motion alert started. Loading dock camera. One after another. I checked the monitor each time. Snow drifting across cold pavement. Empty asphalt. Still air. Nothing but the alerts. Kept coming. Patient. Relentless. Like something wanted me to keep looking. By 3 a.m., I went out myself. The cold hit me like a wall. The kind of cold that doesn't just chill you, it empties you. I swept my light across the loading dock. No footprints in the snow. No vehicles. No signs of entry. Nothing disturbed. I told myself it was a glitch. I needed to believe that. Then I heard it. From inside the warehouse, a metallic scraping sound. Slow, heavy, deliberate. The kind of sound that doesn't happen on its own. I went straight to the monitors. Camera 6. It went black. 1, 2, 3. It came back. But something was wrong. The angle had shifted. Just slightly. Just enough. Like someone had been standing exactly where that camera was pointing. I picked up my flashlight and I went inside. The warehouse felt different now. Colder than it had any right to be. The kind of quiet that presses against your ears. Halfway down the main aisle, I heard footsteps. 2, maybe 3 rows over. Not rushing, not hiding. Walking. Slow. Measured. Unbothered. I stopped. They stopped. I took 1 step forward. They started again. Matching me. Mirroring me. Step for step. I called out. Security. My voice swallowed by the shelves. By the dark. By whatever was in there with me. No answer. No movement. No shadow crossing the light. Nothing. I checked every aisle. Every corner. Every door and window. No forced entry. No evidence. No trace. No one. When I reported it, they smiled. Nodded slowly. Wind, they said. The building settling. Your imagination. But I know the difference between a building settling and footsteps that follow you. I know what I heard that night. And I know, deep in the part of me that doesn't lie, I was not alone in that warehouse. I leave my job from warehouse. That's it. Thanks you for seeing video. If you enjoy this video, then like and subscribe my channel. See you in next video. Underritatory Dermerdale.